A long-running series like Law & Order, Special Victims Unit cannot see every episode hit a home run. The series explores the investigative trails and the legal proceedings of fictional crimes with a sexual component. SVU is known for ripping high-profile cases from the headlines to create fictional stories. It is also known for disturbing suspects, morally grey complications in the crimes, and twists at the end of the investigations. Though SVU has become the most popular arm of the Law & Order franchise, and the series on the air the longest, there are a few episodes that are among the worst for fans and the lowest rated by critics. 7. InfoWars. Season 19, Episode 12. Though the Law & Order franchise, specifically SVU, is known for its storylines based on real events, InfoWars was not one of those episodes that hit well with the audience, though. It has a 6.3 rating from users on the Internet Movie Database, which is not unspeakably low by primetime television standards. When the top 5 episodes of the series are all rated 9.0 or higher, however, it does demonstrate a marked difference in how the episodes are perceived. InfoWars sees Olivia Benson, Mariska Hargitay, clash with the sexual assault survivor she is trying to help. They have very different political views, and that causes them to butt heads. While Olivia is committed to helping anyone, no matter her feelings, the survivor is painted as thoroughly unlikable to the audience. One of the oft-remembered lines for SVU is that you don't pick your Vic, but this episode makes that abundantly clear. It also tries too hard to delve into the polarizing politics of the modern day. Most audience members and critics are watching television as an escape from the reality they live in, or in this case, to unravel a compelling mystery, so it makes sense for the audience to rate this one lower than usual, but not as low as the absolute worst episodes of SVU. 6. Part 33. Season 20, Episode 14. An emotional Roland sits with Benson in the Law & Order, SVU episode, Part 33 image via NBC. Part 33 does not use the usual episode format that SVU employs. Most episodes of the series start off with a crime committed, follow the detectives as they investigate it, and then end with the legal proceedings, though that does not always mean a trial plays out. Here, the bulk of the episode surrounds the trial of a woman who shot her husband. A domestic abuse survivor, the woman shot her husband to get out of the relationship. Each of the detectives involved in the case has very different feelings, and they are all called as witnesses at the trial. With a 6.1 on IMDb, the episode is ranked worse than InfoWars, but it does not deserve to be ranked so low. This episode is a divisive one because some fans like the examination of the characters and the break from the norm, but other fans found the character choices to be too extreme. For some, it's the kind of SVU episode that makes them want to smash their TV, but it does not quite deserve that criticism. Part 33 chose to highlight the most black and white aspects of the case through the detectives instead of allowing them to operate in morally grey areas. It accentuates their personalities in extreme ways, and for some, that makes them appear out of character. 5. Something Happened. Season 19, Episode 7. Olivia Benson speaking with someone in a cell in the Law & Order, SVU episode, Something Happened image via NBC. Bottle episodes can be hit or miss with fans of procedurals. That's because audience members want to see action, not a few characters talking on the same set for the entire 42-minute run. Something Happened is one of SVU's few bottle episodes, which makes it very divisive. Olivia Benson spends most of the episode discussing a potential rape with a woman who comes in, sure that she was raped, but unable to remember exactly what happened. Benson spends the episode talking with her and her sister. While the acting in the episode is superb all around, the issue here is that the discussion of just what happened to each of the sisters goes in circles. The discussion also forces Olivia to reveal personal details about herself, but those details do not add to the story because the audience already knows them. Bottle episodes have to have enough payoff for the audience to be invested in them, and Something Happened simply does not. It makes sense that it is rated among the bottom 50 of the 550-plus episodes of SVU on the Internet Movie Database. It's also often referenced as a never rewatch episode by fans on Reddit. 4. Counselor, It's Chinatown. Season 21, Episode 7. Counselor, It's Chinatown does not have a very low rating on sites like IMDb. It was, however, critically lambasted. The episode investigates a human trafficking ring as part of an undercover operation in the titular Chinatown. It also appears to be inspired by the events surrounding a real woman's death. In 2017, Yang Song fell 4 stories to her death when police raided a massage parlor in Queens. Similar events play out in the episode, but SVU puts a very different spin on those events, which is where a lot of the criticism for the episode comes in. Tiffany Diane so wrote about the episode for Huffington Post after it aired, noting that the series took a very real event and spun it into a white savior fantasy. As Tso explains, the episode blatantly turns the SVU squad into heroes who do not want to persecute the trafficked women, but it does not reflect the reality of the real women. The reality is that the trafficked women being investigated are often also treated like criminals. Tso even notes that the real-life victim was propositioned by a vice officer to keep her secret, something not addressed in the episode. This is one case where the episode might have done better with critics if it had reflected reality. 3. Guardians and Gladiators. Season 22, Episode 1. Olivia Benson looks stunned in the Law and Order, SVU episode Guardians and Gladiators, image via NBC. In the early seasons of SVU, characters would comment on abused kids or missing women who were from minority neighborhoods being overlooked. Racial inequality was often commented on, but it was rarely addressed directly. This episode attempts to tackle some of the racial bias. Guardians and Gladiators sees the SVU detectives respond to a call about an assault in Central Park, but after arriving at the scene, it turns out they arrest the wrong man. When Olivia is confronted with the possibility that inherent racial bias might have caused her to pick the wrong man, she has to consider the possibility of unconscious racism. This SVU episode combines inspiration from real events, the Central Park birdwatching incident and the murder of George Floyd by police officers. While the episode takes its inspiration from them, it does not adapt either incident exactly. Guardians and Gladiators has been criticized for not going in depth enough into the systemic racism that exists in law enforcement. SVU has always tried to reflect the way the world is changing through the lens of often disturbing and sensationalized cases. It does the same here, and the criticism is not entirely founded. 42 minutes is not a long enough amount of time to thoroughly dissect systemic racism in law enforcement or the possibility of implicit racism. The criticism here should really be that later episodes have not followed up on the questions this episode presented to its detectives.